Welcome to The Leftovers. I'm Rachel Belle. The Leftovers is audio left on the cutting room floor from last week's Your Last Meal interview. And today, you'll hear never-before-heard cuts from Grammy-nominated singer-songwriter and pianist Regina Spektor. You said, "I love crying while chopping onions."
When you're just chopping a lot of onions and the tears are just flowing, something about it feels very, very purifying. There's something really nice about crying when it's not coming from the inside out, but when it's coming from the outside in. It's like a different kind of crying, yet it still does the action.
That is part of our conversation from last week. And I suggest going back and listening to that first. But if you're all caught up, let's get into The Leftovers with Regina Spektor. One of your songs is a go-to karaoke song for me for many years. I like to do Hotel Song. I'm curious, as someone who sings for a living, do you ever do karaoke? Like go out with your friends? Is that something that comes up?
It really doesn't. I feel like I did that a couple of times on the road. My first ever karaoke that I did was long before I actually played shows. It was when I was studying abroad for a semester in London, in Tottenham. And we went across the road and I did Elvis, like the "You ain't nothing but a hound dog." And it was really, really fun. But I feel like I don't think I'm that great. Like I feel like people are like great at karaoke and that's their thing. I don't know if I'm like a great karaoke person. I like being as invisible as possible and being able to like, you know, when I'm in a place where people are doing karaoke, the fun is to listen to them and watch them. Like the least fun thing I could think of is then to join it and do it. If I could pick any superpower, it would be an invisibility cloak. Just be like blend in and watch.
Be anonymous.
Yeah.
What is your perfect birthday cake or birthday dessert if you're not a cake person?
Well, I don't love sweet, but I feel like I can't really say no to a cheesecake because those are amazing. And I also really like anything that sort of has like lemon zest or maybe lavender. I love key lime pie, like something with sour. But my favorite dessert is definitely halva.
Oh.
Even though it's so sweet, somehow, I don't know if it's the sesame that cuts it or like just my body's like, ooh, high fat. But like, halva is really great. But yeah, I will choose anchovies over any dessert you present me, like anchovies, olives, salmon, caviar, like ikura, like all that, you know, like it's like my happy place with some miso soup. But if that doesn't exist and all there is dessert, I will probably choose something dairy.
So Russian of you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, it is. And speaking of Russian, though, a real Napoleon cake with the cream and the
layers.
Yeah. But not like the kind that they have in the bakeries that sort of pretend to be Napoleon, where it's more like whipped cream. It has to be like that real kind of soury, boiled, proper cream that's like in the Russian Napoleons. It's so good.
Ooh, I'm going to look up a recipe. I've never had the real version. And also, if you're a tahini person, I would love to send you. I wrote a cookbook that came out in November that's all sesame and it's a lot of tahini.
I love tahini.
And there's a tahini cheesecake with honey and pistachios. And I would love to mail it to you. If Samantha will do that too. There's an address I can send it to.
Yes, I would love that. Oh my God. I have like a huge tub of tahini right now.
Oh, you do? Nice. Okay, let's see. One more question. You choose. What would you rather talk about? Okay. The chopped liver story, immigration and bananas, or the dentist pickles?
Okay, I'll tell you about the chopped liver story. So when I went to college, I became a vegetarian. Rather, I should say pescatarian, because I can never give up fish. But I felt great and I didn't really miss eating meat or anything like that. And I almost couldn't imagine eating meat ever again. And it felt really good because I feel like My soul is very happy to not eat animals. I mean, I honestly feel like my soul would be really happy to not eat any animals, fish included, but my body gets very, very unhappy when I don't eat animals. So it's just like one of those things where the body keeps winning. But someday my soul will not be in my body, which goes well with the last meal thing. And then I won't eat animals anymore. But I kept getting sick all the time. And especially when I started touring as a vegetarian, I was like strep all the time, antibiotics all the time, just sick, 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 and getting weak, weak, weak. And so I went to this acupuncture doctor and he was like, you need to stop eating dairy and you need to start eating meat. I was like, what? I couldn't even imagine it. And it had been like so many years. And he was like, well, you don't have to eat all meat, but I really want you to eat liver because that's going to be the only thing that gets you sort of like out of this state of antibiotic depletion. And I was like, this is crazy. So I walked over to Second Avenue Deli and it was like, one of those like walks of shame. And I bought myself.
And after not eating meat for so long to go straight to liver. I mean,
I know. Which like, I think it wasn't so extreme because I had grown up like as a little girl in Moscow. It's like tongue was my favorite like meat to eat like at parties. So it's like I ate every kind of liver, every kind of like meat. So it wasn't like I was going from being full vegetarian all my life to now liver, but it was still like I could not imagine it anymore. And I went to Second Avenue Deli. I bought like the tiniest container that they had of chopped liver. And I took it home and I like put it on a cracker. It was like the afternoon. And I put it in my mouth and I almost got sick. And I just threw away the cracker and I put the tub into my fridge and just closed the door. And I was like, this is not going to work. At 3 a.m. that night, like a zombie from like I like lift out of bed and all I want is liver. Just the taste that my body got on the tongue in that one moment before I almost got sick was enough to, my body was like, this is what I want. You're not giving it to me. So I go over to my fridge and I literally take a tablespoon and I eat the tiny tub of chopped liver with a tablespoon at 3 a.m. And then I go back to sleep. And for the next like 2 weeks, I mean, they really got to know me well at Second Avenue Deli. I would just go and I would buy their biggest container of chopped liver. And I would just eat it morning, lunch, and dinner. My body wanted it so much. I craved it like crazy. I'd only seen like pregnancy cravings on TV. Or like, in films and comedy shows, but it looked exactly like what those women were going through. It was all I wanted. And then it tapered off and I was fine. And then I just like was like, oh, this is what I needed, I guess.
Wow. I love that story. Also online, there is a story that says you started eating meat again because of the strokes when you were on tour with them.
My first actual taste of meat after being like vegetarian. Yeah, it was a showdown with my dad because the thing is they ate like steaks all the time on tour and somehow the smell of the like meat kind of started to get me over like, this smells good. This smells right. And so my dad was warming something up for himself and I said, it smelled good. And he said, well, then have some. And I said, no, I can't. And he said, I dare you. And I was like, fine. And it was like some kind of a showdown. And I ended up having 2 slices of the steak, but then I didn't like for another while ever eat it. I didn't think of myself as a meat eater. It was more like a playful sparring with my dad. And it didn't do the thing where all of a sudden I needed to eat it. Not like the chopped liver, which was like, you will become chopped liver yourself. You will be 99% liver. But the bananas thing was that, so the very first time that I ever tasted bananas was in Moscow. Some kind of a shipment arrived. They were all just green and we had to put them underneath a bed and keep them there for like a really long time till they turned yellow. And then I tasted them and I thought they were amazing. And then I didn't get to eat them for years. When we got to America, bananas were everywhere and cheap. Mm-hmm. And so we bought them all the time and ate them all the time. I ate so many bananas that then I couldn't eat them for years. Oh. I mean, they're probably like a decade where I just could not even, I would rather eat anything. And I think that just happens with like whatever you overeat, it's just like too much. Yeah, but now I'm back to eating bananas again sometimes.
Oh, good. A happy ending. And that was Regina Spektor's Leftovers. Well, I'm going to wrap up there. It was so nice chatting with you. I feel like I could talk to you forever. And
thanks for your offer of sending me the cookbook. I'd love that.
Regina is on tour now. Make sure and snag a ticket to one of her shows or buy one of her records on vinyl on her website. The Leftovers and Your Last Meal are both products of Seattle's Cascade PBS. Go to cascadepbs.org to support local public media and become a member and get access to all PBS programming. This episode was mixed and mastered by Sarah Bernard. Original theme music by Prom Queen. Make sure you are subscribed to Your Last Meal in your podcast app so you never miss an episode of that or The Leftovers. And if you've been listening for a long time, but you have never rated or reviewed us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, it is a free and easy way to support the show. I'm Rachel Belle, and this is The Leftovers.